Support WrestleTalk!
Enable notifications.
It's WWE, it's Australia, it's a showdown, it's super, it's basically a house show. It's WWE Super Show Down if you run it all together and then you add the words house show on the end. I'm El Fakador Laurie Blake, and these are my predictions for what is going to be going down at Super Show Down, Down Under, Down. Buddy Murphy versus Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight Championship. Now, Buddy Murphy is the hometown boy for this one, and it's also his second opportunity at the Cruiserweight title after the pair had their epic match on 205 Live with the flips and the ring steps and the crowd being absolute ball bags. And the truth be told is, I think Buddy Murphy is fantastic, and not just because we share a similar shade of beard. He's also had some of the best matches in 205 Live that didn't involve a person called Neville. I also think this match could be a good opportunity to nab the title off of Cedric and create a memorable moment with Buddy Murphy's win in the process. Just imagine if Murphy wins. The crowd's gonna go nuts, breaking out into chants of Aussie, 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 oi, 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 and then singing Waltzing Matilda and other stereotypical Australian things.
Foster's.
Drinking Foster's, indeed. Watching Neighbours, didgeridoos. But aside from the pop and the Vince-pleasing moment, I think it's about time someone other than Cedric got to wear the crown of the Cruiserweight division. Oh God. Sorry, I've just been reminded of Neville. While Cedric is obviously an amazing performer and has produced consistently great matches during his championship run, a little bit lacking in the personality department, at least in the way that WWE have presented him as champion. He's kind of like AJ Styles, who's a great in-ring performer, solid on the mic, but never amazing. However, the difference with AJ is that you get a really strong sense of his character as he goes along. You know that he's a hothead, you know that he's likely to fly off the handle, and that's what makes him interesting. Cedric, on the other hand, is just a champ who seems like a nice chap. He's not really a brilliant character. Cedric did, however, bring the title back from the brink. He carried it to a point where it actually means something again after the whole Enzo debacle. You gotta wash the Amore aroma off of the title. But now it's probably time for somebody to take that prestigious title and make it into a really top prize. Buddy Murphy, my Ginger Ninja, is my pick. Asuka and Naomi versus the Iconics. The other bit of Aussie pandering of the night sees the Iconic duo, who have been together since NXT, versus Asuka and Naomi, who have been together since they realised they had both had green flecks in their hair. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay have both beaten Naomi in singles competition in recent months, but since Asuka came onto the scene, the momentum going into Super Showdown seems to lie with the Empress of Tomoglow, or whatever that name is WWE's given them. What are they called now?
They're currently called the Empress and the Glow.
The Mask and the Dance Connection.
Again, a better name.
This also kind of seems to be a setup for Evolution down the line and the long-teased introduction of women's tag titles. And when you look at it on paper, it seems like Naomi and Asuka are kind of the shoo-ins. Naomi is a former SmackDown Women's Champion. Asuka is a former NXT Women's Champion, former owner of an undefeated streak, and formerly seemed like she was actually going somewhere within WWE. Even if the pop for the Iconics winning in Australia would be massive, I just kind of think another loss for Asuka at this point, at a big pay-per-view, even if it is a house show, is just going to be the absolute death knell for her credibility, which was only just sort of starting to resuscitate itself following the whole Carmella, James Ellsworth thing. Wasn't even a feud, it was a thing. With that said, WWE does love a moment, and Peyton and Billie winning on home soil is a moment for sure, so I guess it's kind of a close run thing. But I'm going to go with Naomi and Asuka in the hopes they're positioning them as the SmackDown counterparts to Sasha Banks and Bayley when the women's tag titles roll around. The New Day versus The Bar for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. So this is a weird one because not only have The Bar not won either of two #1 contenders tournaments for the SmackDown titles, but when Rusev Day lost to the New Day at the pre-show of Hell in a Cell, they were just gifted a match. That's WWE setting the bar very low for The Bar specifically. So The Bar get this title shot, that's a hooray, and probably the New Day now also get to appear on the actual show and not on the pre-show, so another hooray. Considering that there is now basically no story between these two apart from the fact that Sheamus got a clean win over Big E on SmackDown this week.
Cesaro also beat Kofi Kingston, if that helps.
Doesn't matter. And the fact that the New Day only recently got the titles back, you've kind of got to predict it's going to be the New Day. And also, because I predicted for Hell in a Cell that Rusev Day, really hopefully, I predicted Rusev Day would walk away with the titles. What was it all for, man? Make Aiden English a single star? Aiden, in a feud, and I was wrong. So it's going to be the New Day. I won't be burned again. It's a New Day win. I just want that to be like, hold, and then it's a New Day win. John Cena and Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens and Elias. So Cena's back. He slipped onto the card all sneaky like. Cena hasn't been on TV in months, but he has been in China shooting a movie and apparently is really trimmed down, so there's that to look forward to. Why is he in this match? Lashley, Elias and Owens have had various run-ins with each other recently, but overall the story doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. And KO did try and name drop John Cena's quite hard to say. Name drop, oh god damn it. And KO did name drop Cena on Raw. Get rid of the John, it's much easier. And KO did name drop Cena on Raw, saying that he defeated him in his first match on the main card for WWE. So he's just trying to jam a John in there where he's not needed. WWE are billing this match as a never-before-seen combination of superstars throwing down in the ring, which is true, but also really rather unexciting because you can apply that to many things. For instance, we've never seen the combination of Michael Cole, Brie Bella, and Jinder Mahal in the ring. Sound exciting? No. And will we ever see it? No. Have we seen it? No. And we know because our eyeballs are not bleeding. I'm kind of hoping that KO and Elias pick up the win here because I think Kev needs some W's after the whole quitting and coming back thing, and I don't think destroying Tyler Breeze really counts. However, the cautious predictor in me leans towards my man, Lashley, and Big Match John, just because that's what WWE think people want to see. I'm going to split the difference though and say that Lashley and Cena win, but it's by DQ because Kevin Owens just starts powerbombing fools onto the apron, especially Lio Rush. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This is Charlotte's rematch following her losing effort at Hell in a Cell, and to all intents and purposes, she is now definitely the face in this scenario, sadly. Becky's been healing it up since she won the title and kind of coming out of nowhere with the back attacks and the "I'll send you back to Milwaukee" put downs on Lana, which is a bad thing even if you didn't cheat on your husband there because it's Milwaukee. You can all get cheap heat, WWE. A lot of people are saying that this match will be the second in a trilogy, with the final bout between the two taking place at Evolution a few weeks after Super Showdown, and the consensus seems to be that Becky would be walking into the show champion, probably not leaving with the belt, as Charlotte gets her transcendent coronation as SmackDown's queen at the biggest celebration of womanshood since Mother's Day. Leave it in, womanshood. So with all that in mind, and mostly because I don't want to see Becky Lynch lose the title because she's been a great champ so far, I'm going to give it to the last kicker, and then we can just worry about the Evolution thing and her potentially losing the title another time. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz in a #1 contenders match for the WWE Championship. The Miz has beaten Bryan twice now, once we've added wives, making this the third match in their feud. A feud which is expected to extend all the way out until WrestleMania 35. What's going on with this stipulation here then? Because usually the #1 contender finds their way into a feud of some sort with the champion, in this case AJ Styles for now. So that's got me thinking, could we be seeing Daniel Bryan win the match here and go on to face AJ or Joe in a dream match type scenario? However, during that match, The Miz could then come out and cost Daniel Bryan the title, thus extending the feud out until Mania. And also importantly, Daniel Bryan winning this match would make him seem less like a flipping chump. He's lost to The Miz on his own, he's lost to The Miz with Brie's help, and she almost killed Liv Morgan. We all know she's dangerous. A third loss at Super Showdown, shenanigans or not, makes Bryan seem stupid, whereas this stipulation seems entirely designed to position him once again as a main event player, incidentally just after he's signed his new contract. And then we can do shenanigans down the line to keep Daniel Bryan away from the title. It's brilliant, it's perfect. I mean, the flip side is also obviously appealing, with The Miz getting a title shot and maybe even winning, meaning their run back at Mania can be for the title. Imagine the pop, people. Imagine the pop! But like I said earlier, it does more harm than good to have Dan lose again, so we're going to have to give him the win. Ronda Rousey and the Bella Twins versus the Riott Squad. Not really sure if the Riott Squad will be up to snuff following Liv Morgan's savage kicking at the hands of Brie on Raw this week, so might end up being a handicap match and then a bloodbath when Brie unleashes those legs. Rumours currently still suggest that Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella could still be the headlining match at Evolution for the Raw Women's Championship. Now, I'm not a big fancy scientist, but part of me knows that this would be a good place to start setting up a feud. Maybe there's a miscue between the two, or a Brie botch, but scripted this time, and it could cause a rift in the team and give the Riott squad the win. Doing things this way also importantly protects Rousey and even gives her another challenger down the line in the form of Ruby Riott, who has the added benefit of having two mates when going up against the baddest woman on the planet, meaning we don't have to invent bruised ribs to give Ruby a chance in the fight. So, from the perspective of everything this could set up, I'm going to give it to the Riott squad, as it gives you some nice possibilities to work with. Otherwise, I guess everyone can just carry on being friends. Much more interesting. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe in a no disqualification match for the WWE Championship. Weirdly, this match was booked before Styles and Joe went at it at Hell in a Cell, but WWE have retroactively somehow managed to kind of make it make sense. The squiffy finishes to the last matches, with Styles getting himself disqualified and then him tapping out but the referee not seeing, has not only given Joe a legitimate reason to be cross, not that he needed it, but also means that this match now has a no disqualification stipulation. I do still think Styles will come away champion though, because game's coming out, innit? He's on the cover. And also, even with all the squiffy finishes and the legitimate claims to having won and that kind of thing, this still just reminds me of the end of Asuka's NXT title run, where she had the dodgy finishes and the DQs, but still managed to come out undefeated and somehow still a face. Styles, while not the actual face of the company, sort of is really, isn't he? So I kind of expect him to be holding onto the belt at least until the Rumble, hopefully Mania though. The Shield versus Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. More of this then. I don't really mean it though, I actually quite into the Dogs of War despite the name. Ziggler and McIntyre specifically, who in very short shrift have managed to legitimise the tag team titles when they were dead in the water, and also have now started appearing like a properly dominant force on Raw, which is great. The interesting new wrinkle from this week's Raw is that the Dog's been barking at Ambrose, saying he's the underappreciated one under the big dog and the architect. He is the bitch, if you will. Which was obviously all a tease for the long-awaited Ambrose heel turn, and kind of considering the new attitude he's returned from injury with, he seems like he's about halfway there already. However, I think Super Showdown is a tad too early to pull the old plug on the heel turn. Instead, I reckon this will be set up for a turn somewhere down the line. We could see something like where Ambrose is let down by the other members of the Shield to eat a pin from the Dogs of War, or perhaps Roman and Seth get caught up in their own petty rivalries with Strowman and Ziggler, leaving Ambrose to fall foul of McIntyre. This would also chime with a rumour that the Strowman versus Roman angle would be dropped in favour of McIntyre as the next challenger for the Universal title. If he picks up the pin over Ambrose and wins the six-man tag, he has at least a bit of a claim to a title shot. There is also the rumour going around that McIntyre would be the one pinning Roman to win the match, which could just, I don't know, annoy Ambrose enough to make him heel. Either way, I'm giving it to the Dogs of War. We need a better name. Triple H versus The Undertaker. So Triple H is going to have Shawn Michaels in his corner, while Undertaker is bringing along Mayor Glenn. This is being billed as a last time ever match, even though the 4 stars are reported by Dave Meltzer to be facing off in a tag match at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. And there's also the rumour from WrestleVote that Undertaker and Shawn Michaels are going to have a singles match somewhere down the line, possibly at Survivor Series. Last time ever. The thing is, it's the last time ever. It's always the last time in this combination. It's the same as the Lashley thing. It's like, we've never seen this combination before. It's like,
It'll be the last time ever it's just The Undertaker versus Triple H.
Person maths. With the proposed singles match between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker down the line, you've got to think Triple H could be picking up the victory here, with Michaels the one costing Undertaker the match, which would obviously set up them two going at it down the line, because retirement, as we've said before, doesn't mean anything anymore, because the best way to retire is to carry on working, so said the Tory government. Put that in.
Political.
Political jokes. That's it. I ain't got nothing else. Done now. Those were my predictions, but I would love to know what yours are. Let us know in the comments below. And give us a subscribe while you're at it to stay up to date on all of the latest wrestling news and see loads of awesome videos for us here at WrestleTalk. I've been El Fakador, and that was Lucha.